Hi there, dear Truth Warriors. Welcome back to the channel. I received a video request from Erin, and Erin's request was how to become resistant to narcissists. Now, there are 3 ways that I feel are very effective. I have implemented them myself when having to deal or in the aftermath of narcissistic abuse, friendships, relationships, is that there are 3 key ways to make yourself resistant to narcissists. And when I say resistant, I'm not meaning that you will never encounter them again in your life. Narcissists are everywhere. People with narcissistic personality disorder are everywhere. In our governments, in our schools, in our places of work, in our families, in our friendships, they are literally everywhere. So you are going to encounter them, throughout your life. But the thing to work on so that you are not affected by them anymore and that you do not allow them into your VIP space is doing these 3 things. And the first one, of course, is when you have come out of a narcissistic relationship or friendship, whatever the dynamic is, when you have come out of that and you are dealing with the levels of stress, anxiety, panic, confusion, cognitive dissonance, pain, all of these very raw emotions and thoughts, it is so important, and this is at the top of the list, is to feel your feelings. We cannot correct, we cannot heal trauma in our bodies when we do not acknowledge our feelings. It's as simple as that. Because cognitively, we understand that we have been in abusive relationships. We understand what has gone on. We understand how it made us feel. We also understand cognitively what the narcissist has done to us. We understand that they are toxic. What we usually forget is that trauma is not only can not only be understood cognitively, it has to be dealt with emotionally as well. So the feelings that come up, whether it is fear, anxiety, anger, sadness, depression, whatever those feelings are, whatever that state is, you have to acknowledge it. There is no point in suppressing your emotions, because the more you suppress, the more the trauma is going to affect you. And there are very simple tools in order to deal with feeling your emotions, and that is allowing yourself to go there. It is a very, sometimes a very frightening place to be in when you start feeling and when you start getting all these flashbacks and literally feeling in your body what the trauma has done to you. In that case, you need to have the support of a therapist or a coach, anyone who can support you through that, someone that you trust, of course. But feeling those feelings are so important. Write them out. Talk about it, especially when it comes to depression, which is very real after narcissistic abuse. Depression, you need to talk about. We have to stop making depression such a taboo topic. It needs to be discussed. You, as a survivor of abuse, need to be able to discuss, to vent your feelings surrounding depression. Talk therapy, is not by very many people, but talking and giving a voice to what you're feeling, giving a voice to what you have experienced is very important. The second one in that is self-care, because what we have done in relationships with narcissists is that we put ourselves at the bottom of the list. We do the people pleasing. We don't set boundaries. We conform to the demands of the narcissist. So everything that we do in this relationship, the way we conduct ourselves, is all at the expense of our own self-care, our own emotional needs. So when you're looking at self-care, I'm not talking about the exterior. It's getting your hair done, your teeth brushed, getting in the shower. Of course, that is something that you need to do daily. But what I am talking about is inner self-care. And inner self-care is also part of feeling your feelings. But it's also recognizing, what are my emotional needs? How am I not meeting my own emotional needs? This is very important. What are your emotional needs? Get clear on that. Where are you dishonoring yourself? Where are you self-sabotaging? Where are you applying self-judgment? These are very important things to look at, because what often happens in narcissistic relationships is that we look to the narcissist to complete us. We look to get their approval. We look to get their praise. We look to get their acceptance, when really all of those things are an inside job. You need to give it to yourself first. So it's having those very intimate and very raw and real conversations with yourself. What are my emotional needs? How do I need to meet them myself? Can I meet them myself? Do I need help in that? Do I need therapy? Do I need coaching? These are very important things in order to become resistant to narcissists. And the final one is self-acceptance. Because what we have learnt, either growing up in a narcissistic family dynamic or being involved romantically with narcissists or having them as friends, is that light is shed on our vulnerabilities. Light is shed on the things that we don't do right. So it's always a very degrading way of being, because we are degraded every single day by the narcissist. We are put down. We are not given space. We are not listened to. Our emotional needs, of course, are not being met. So the thing is to look at, what is it about myself that I need to accept? Because when we have been through this kind of abuse, we take on that abuse and we start self-abusing. And self-abusing could look like overeating, could look like self-harming, could look like people-pleasing. Self-judgment also comes into that. So you need to look at those parts of yourself and accept the parts of you. You are a whole. We are humans. We are spiritual beings having this human experience. And part of the human experience is having good things and bad things about us. You know, there is our dark side and there is our light side. And what we often tend to do is only focus on the dark side that we have. So maybe that dark side looks like, I don't know how to speak up, or I'm very timid, or I don't know how to set boundaries. That's what the dark side could look like, when really it's about accepting yourself as a whole person, accepting your great qualities, accepting your less great qualities. It makes up who you are. So there is no such a thing as negative and positive. It's looking at yourself as a whole and accepting yourself fully. And that is a process. That is where the help comes in, with therapy, with coaching, as I've just said, is to look at yourself from a different perspective, is to reframe what you have been through, what the narcissist has manipulated you into believing about yourself. 9 times out of 10, these beliefs are limiting. They are not true. They do not speak to your true essence. So you need to take the time to look at these things and become self-accepting. So instead of just focusing on the negative, look at all aspects of yourself. My negative side, maybe, or my maybe not so, maybe irritating side, is that I talk too much. I like to get to the bottom of things. I'm always analyzing things through conversation. I'm very impatient a lot of the time. Depends on who I'm speaking to, but I can be very impatient. I like things done a certain way. So, you know, if someone comes and does something a different way, I get very agitated and maybe get into a bit of, what is the word? Not panic, but I just get very agitated and irritated when things are not done a certain way. So on the other side of that is I'm a very warm person. I'm a loving person. I have the capability of listening to people. I am not judgmental as I used to be in the past. I'm not as judgmental anymore, especially with those around me. I used to be very judgmental of the people that I loved, or that I still love. I used to be very judgmental of myself. I had to have everything done to perfection. So, you know, this, looking at it, when you look at all those different aspects of yourself and you say, well, it's okay that we can just live together. That's who I am as a person. When you're accepting of that, that's what opens the door to you correcting certain behaviors that you do not appreciate about yourself, or that do not that are not of service to you anymore. Because sometimes, you know, on life's path we develop certain behaviors which might have helped us in the past, so maybe survival mechanisms, but at this point in life they are not helping us anymore. So we need to look at those behaviors and change them so that they do serve us. So, you know, there's no such a thing about fixing yourself. I don't believe in that, but I do believe in accepting all parts of yourselves and then fine-tuning certain behaviors, fine-tuning certain ways of perceiving yourself, so that you are comfortable with yourself, comfortable in your own skin, and that you can be your own best friend. So those are the top 3 in becoming resistant to narcissists. Again, we will always encounter them, but when you have your boundaries, you know, when you are self-accepting and when you have practiced self-care, you will know when someone is violating your boundaries, and you will have no problem setting those boundaries and saying, look, what you are doing to me right now and how you're speaking to me is just not okay with me. That's how you become resistant to narcissists, so that they will not be able to enter your VIP space, not be able to enter that pristine part of yourself that needs to be kept clean and sacred. So I hope that has helped some. Thank you, Erin, for sending in that request. And if you have any other requests, to all of you out there, please don't hesitate to jot them down below the video, or you know, send me an email. Have a great week. Take care. And the whole world is now in awe, of course, with all the current circumstances, not only with COVID-19, but also with the US elections that are coming up in a couple of days. So let's just stick together in all of this and support each other, be loving to ourselves and be loving to those that are on the same frequency as you are. Take care of yourselves and speak to you all next time. Bye for now.